And welcome aboard the Tabletop Express. My name is Chris.
My name is Anthony.
And tonight we are breaking down our most anticipated board games here in 2026. Let's just clarify this right up front. We're anticipating all of these. None of these are like my number one. These are just games I'm really excited about. I didn't put this in a rank order for this particular video.
Correct.
So, I want to clarify that up front. Certainly, if you're interested in being part of the show, however, this is Call Aboard. And if you call in at call-aboard.com, you can be part of the show and maybe share what might be your number one. Or you can just share a game you're excited about. But we've got a pretty full list here, I know, of games that we could cover. I want to also note that while Ryan likely will not be joining us tonight, our co-conductor is with us in spirit and has sent us a long extended text message of games that I will probably have Anthony share some of them for me at some point here so we can bring them up. Some great selections in there as well. Anthony, let me ask you this first and foremost. Is there anything that stands out about the games that are on your list here in 2026? I was thinking about this a little bit of just, is there something thematic? Is there something familiar? There's a few things that definitely stood out to me that seem to either be a common trend, but intrigued on your side if anything stood out.
I don't know if there's a common trend. I'd say it's kind of a good array of different things. So there's a game that we've played a bit of. There's a game that maybe some people wouldn't expect to be on my list. There's a game from a designer who I like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
There's a game that has a certain vibe to it. And there's a game that was kind of like the cover and title sort of
just grabbed
me in. So a little bit of everything.
Cool.
I'll leave it up to you to figure out which one is which.
Yeah, I will note there are some favorite designers of mine on this list. And then there's some games that I uncovered that stood out. I was like, what is this? There's some one that I just was like, what's going on with this one? Like this is intriguing to me.
I mean, there's a lot to choose from. For sure. We could do, a week-long series on this topic.
Honestly, there's a good chance I will be coming back with some additional content around games I just didn't get to discuss. Just because I might just make a short or two of here's some of the ones I didn't mention, but I really, really liked and wish I could have talked about. So here it is. With that in mind, friendly reminder to everyone, and I do see Marcel in the chat. I see Rachel there as well. Say hello. By all means, and let's have this discussion. Remember, call-aboard.com if you do want to call in and be part of the show and share what's on your mind for this week's topic, which is that game that you are most anticipating here in 2026. Let's get right into it. Anthony, what do you want to start with? What's on your mind? And to do that, folks, we are going to bring up BGG to kind of show off if there is anything. Some of these games may not have as much visuals.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I'll start with the one that I hinted at that we've actually played a bit of, and we've certainly talked about it before, but we're both very eager to see the final full, complete product of this. And that is what
you're talking about.
You do, right? Type it in. Let's see if you're right.
I'm assuming it's Lairs.
Yeah, that's Lairs. 2-player only dungeon exploring / mapping out game from KTBG.
Yes.
And we really, really enjoyed this one. You are simultaneously creating a dungeon behind your shield, and your opponent's doing the same thing with adding things like the walls and the treasure and the monsters and the exit and stuff like that, with some rules. And after you're done building, you're now going to sort of simultaneously explore each other's dungeons. So you have a little pad that you're creating the map of what you can see through what your opponent reveals as you walk through this grid. And likewise, you're describing to them what's around them in their spot that they're going to. And you do this by really doing like some dice selection that do different things behind the board. I don't know if there's another picture about from the inside of the board, so you can see kind of some of the options that you can do. But you walk, which is like 1 square. You can run, which is more, but you might run right into a trap or something like that. And the game evolves because you're unlocking different skills of these, as well as different strengths of monsters and different types of monsters. And I don't know, man, we had a hoot with this one. It was so much fun to do. It was kind of like playing 2 games at once, but not in an overwhelming way. It wasn't like there was too much to keep track of. It's a relatively simple experience. I really just enjoyed it.
We should probably upload our own photos on here because I feel like we have some good graphics. The board starts simple, that's in front of you with just certain actions. As you're playing through this, you're going to get more and more actions, and that's part of a reason why this has us excited. We played it, we liked it, and then it just stops because it just stops for us because we had a prototype. It was not the full version. They knocked us out of the park. I mean, I feel like this was a home run. And yeah, and someone asked me, and if you look at Lairs, by the way, let's give it the credit where it goes. Christopher Westmass, who is on the show, he is one of our episodes of Creators Corner, was a wonderful conversation. Really grateful for that. KTBG did a great job here. Lairs, when someone asked me about this, I said it has the Battleship vibe for me of I don't know what's happening on your side, but the replayability is so high because thematically you are building the dungeon and it's going to be different every time. And as you add layer upon layer, it's just more. Yeah, I know what I did there unintentionally. It's solid. So as far as a 2-player game goes, I will be candid. I can't say this is on my top 10, but in 2 weeks, we're talking about 2-player game only games. And I'm not going to lie, this was one I was considering, and I'm not at my final list yet, but it is solid. And that's not
already steal your thunder.
No, this is great. And I might be talking more about this in the future, but yeah, that is Lairs 2026 release, as all of these are intended to be, or we anticipate them to be. And that is from KTBG. Good choice. Really, really good choice.
Thank you.
I am going to go.
Well, Dan.
Yeah, Dan's here as well. Again, Rachel and Marcel also here. I know you are all hopefully thinking about those games. Call-board.com if you do want to call in. Anthony, I'm thinking about a game, and it involves something that I'm not good at, which is dance, and that is Raas, A Dance of Love. I saw this one. This one is by Arcane Wonders. It visually grabbed my attention. Now, the concept of this game is that you're recruiting dancers that are represented by these colorful dice, and you are trying to collect dresses, and a variety of different things are happening. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. The first reason I got this game on my mind was look at this. Look at this game. Like, it's just attention grabbing. And so, while you've got a tableau kind of strategy going on, it is going to also blend balance of timing, and ultimately it does blend some thematic storytelling as well. That's kind of happening the look and feel of this one grabbed my attention. From what I've seen with it, the action selection in it is pretty straightforward. It doesn't seem like it's an overly complicated game. It seems, yeah. So you stop.
I'm out.
Yes.
This is on my list too.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And for the same reason, this was just caught my attention visually.
Yeah.
Pick. And then I looked at this and I was like, whoa, okay. It's got that gear thing going on. I like it.
That gear thing. What was the first game that we saw with the gear?
Well,
I'm trying to remember.
Zulkin had the gears. That's a pretty old game now at this point.
Yeah. More recently, though, Windmill Valley. We liked what Windmill Valley did with the gear. I know. And there's a bunch of everyone's doing the gear thing well. But yeah, this one had my attention. Arcane Wonder has put out some really good games as far as I'm concerned. I know this was a Kickstarter, so I don't know what the retail status of it will be. So my hope is to at least get to play someone's Kickstarter copy. I don't know where it falls in that retail world, but yeah,
I didn't look into that too much either, but yes, it does look interesting. It looks I guess it could look overwhelming to someone at first, but I really don't think it is.
No.
The wheels are really just to determine like which dice are available for each player to draft on their turn, because you kind of sit at the angle you sit at is sort of determines what like spaces are available to you. And then you're trying to get a dance shoot together with some every like different colored dice is sort of like a different style of song or like tempo.
Yeah, you're trying to
you're
keep
looking
up
for
with
like
the right tempo.
you're
And
trying to get good synergy with that, and then the dresses, the outfits, and then the sticks and all that. So very looks like it's a very stunning, obviously visual game. I think it's a very like relatively middle of the road length of time for how long it takes. I think, what does it say in BGG? Yeah, 30 to 90 minutes. That's the nice sweet spot there.
Yeah, and the reason I show the overhead is because you see the dice spots, so I think it's a little more clear with that overhead. But yeah, I'm glad this is on your list, Anthony. This is definitely one that has my attention. Hopefully, we can find someone who has it. It does look like a best of 2, but it does 1 to 6 players. This is based on very few pieces of feedback, so
that's true.
That's a grain of salt.
Small sample size.
Yeah,
but Ryan is alive at least. This is good news.
Yes. And Ryan, we have a guest who's about to come on, but maybe you can let us know what your first game you want us to talk about. Oh, there it is. Okay. We will talk about that one in a bit. I'm going to save that comment so we're ready to go. But with that, we're going to bring in self-proclaimed here hockey dad, otherwise known as Marcel. But that is hockey dad is a very accurate phrase for Marcel. And here we are. Marcel, how you doing?
Yeah, doing all right. You guys?
Doing.
Can't complain. What games are on your mind tonight is what I want to know.
Oh, man. Which ones aren't? I'm going to throw out, like, I guess 3 quick ones then. One that I know you guys have gotten a chance to play, and it's coming in my next all-play surprise delivery for the 3rd version, Torchlight.
Yes, Torchlit. Yes, Torchlit. Here we are. And Torchlit, this says 2024. I want to clarify something. Under this was an indie game, which is why it says 2024. But this really, when it comes down to it, has come over here to the States in particular more recently. That's why it says 2024. What was it that excited about Torchlit? I know we've talked about it a little bit, and we've talked about it here on the show, but I'm really intrigued. What kind of stood out to you about this one?
I honestly, it was one of those surprise ones from that all play thing. I was like, all right, we'll see what they got coming. And they announced this one. You got a trick taking dungeon crawl, I believe it's what they kind of phrased it as. It sounds right up my alley.
It's an accurate phrase. This is not a final version, by the way, that I have on the screen. So, but yeah, it is a trick taking dungeon crawl. It's very cool. If you haven't seen this one, it is one where what's neat about it is you're going to pick how far you're going to get in the dungeon, but the dungeon technically loops around and you can advance in multiple ways. You don't have to win a trick to advance. So it's very cool. So yeah, that's a good choice. What else on the 2026 block for you?
All right. The next one was a random find that I got on Game Nerds because I needed something for free shipping like we all do.
Yep.
And it is Wonderland Words.
Wonderland Words. Okay. Wonderland Words coming in here. What is this says 2025, but I did not see this in 2025. So I am gonna ask you, what's this all about?
I'm still waiting to get it to find out completely about it. But it was described in the wording as a Codenames meets Mysterium.
Ooh.
Okay, I was gonna say those
with
look
a
like
Wonderlands theme.
Yeah, it does have that kind of Dixit art vibe to it going on. But I see some numbers. Oh, I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued here.
So this was one I picked up on a whim just because I needed something to put me over that 75, and it should be in, I think, Friday.
So we got artist is David Ravoy, publisher's Mind Inventions. Who's the designer? NA. Okay. All right. Board Game Geek or whoever. I'm intrigued.
I mean, this must have been like December 2025 if they don't got any information on it.
Yeah, very little.
Yeah, really.
If this is not a 2020, this is as 2026 delivery, so it falls. You said free, so let's give you the last one.
All right, yeah, and the last one is gonna be it's a Kickstarter I did last year. Intelliwar, Ascension to the Throne.
Intelliwar, Ascension to the Throne. Let's see what this one's all about.
And I think this one might be a little bit up your alley too. I think I sent it to you at one point. It's a 2-player game. Kind of struck me as that war chest kind of style kind of game. You got a map, you're fighting each other. Everyone's got like different characters that do different things. I haven't gotten too far into it. It looked amazing. The art looks awesome. It's got that kind of table presence that's there, and you get to chuck some dice.
Oh, no,
which you don't get to do in War Chest.
No, definitely don't do that in War Chest. It has an interesting look to it. It looks like I love. Can I just talk about this? Well, that's a cool look at the board, by the way. This one looks like it captures the board, and I love the use of those. Anytime we use those type of pieces, I enjoy it. But let's look at love this cover. I really enjoy the. That's a very large sword versus a scepter. I really feel like one of them has an advantage.
Oh, that's a mace, my friend.
That's a mace. Oh yeah, that is a mace. I'm sorry. It looks like a scepter at first, but you called it correctly. Remarkable games.
They're both odd design choices for the weapons that they are.
Yeah, remarkable games with that one, and yeah, tactical and strategic skills to claim victory. I like it.
Yeah, and they don't show a lot in the images there, but if you go back to the one that like showed one of the characters, you can kind of see like how the character moves. So like not all the characters move the same way. So it's got that little bit of chess to it as well.
Yeah, I see that here. You can see all the different if you can kind of see on the shapes on the board itself on their cards that they all move in different ways.
This is one I'm really looking forward to getting in and trying out.
No, really cool. It looks very interesting. So I thank you for sharing that one. And we will
who brings a scepter to a sword fight? The guy that can point the scepter at his people to go kill the guy.
Let's see. I was not playing a D&D no, I wasn't playing much D&D at all. I respect the heck out of D&D. I just didn't play it a lot as a kid. I think I was I don't know what I was when I played D&D. I played it like once, but Marcel and I actually are due for a virtual D&D game with the family.
I think I got to run one for you and your kid, don't I?
Yeah, we're gonna do a family. I think my wife actually wants to join.
Nice.
Hey, next what was it? WoozleCon Express.
Yeah,
I'll run a massive game for us.
Love it. Oh man. Well, thank you for joining. Always great to see you, and look forward to. I look forward to your in 2 weeks what your thoughts are on the top 2-player list, because always some good gems for your feelings on that in the chat.
Sounds good. Have a good one, boys.
Later.
Peace out.
All right. So according to Ryan, everybody, Ryan's request is Phantom Division. So Phantom Division 2026. And he's a co-op flicking sequel to SEAL Team Flicks. And of course, just the type of game for Ryan to recommend. Let's take a look here. Phantom Horizon, designer Pete Ruth and Mark Thomas. Let's take a look at this flicking affair. All right, Ryan, feel free to talk in the chat about it as well and what you're excited about. But you're sick. I understand that. But if he's there in the chat and he wants to say something, I'm just offering the opportunity. He may be in and out with us tonight, obviously, but I appreciate that he's in the chat even briefly. What's your first look at this, Anthony? You know what's reminding me of? And I recognize that's not flicking, but it's reminding me almost of that down look that we would have when we played Metal Gear Solid, like the way the board. Yeah. It has that kind of. I understand it's a flicking game. It's also got that ice cool look going on.
I was gonna say this is like the upside down ice cool.
Oh,
ice cool went dark.
Oh yeah, no. What a neat little look to this. I love the box art too. It draws my attention in. Pretty simple simple in terms of the naming, but intriguing. And this one, again, brought by Ryan tonight on his list. He's got a bunch of other ones that we will be bringing up as well. This is the first one. Phantom Division, as noted, is Pete Roof, Mark Thomas, publisher. Phantom Horizon, cooperative tactical combat game set in a sci-fi world. By the way, good to see you. It has been a while, maybe since you've been home to watch, but we are glad you're here tonight, live, as we go through our picks. Feel free also, if you won't be calling in and you just want to share a game you're excited about, let us know. Just like you just did. My number 3 most
there you go.
The Army of Darkness, the board game. Let's take a look at it. Army of Darkness, the board game, 2026. I'm familiar with Army of Darkness as a whole, Evil Ash and all that whatnot, but not familiar with this one. Defend King Arthur's castle from Evil Ash and his army of Deadites. So let's take a look here. It looks like not a ton on the visual front just yet, but this is enough to give us a good overview. Let me see. Can everyone see? Yep, that's about as good as we can go in. This one looks interesting. MGM logo right on there. So they've got all their official IP licenses going pretty well right there. When you see I haven't seen that MGM logo in a while. Not going to lie. We haven't watched some MGM movies in a bit, but what is it about? Feel free to drop this in the chat for us. What's got you excited about this one? Because I would love to hear what has people excited about their games, not just the games. Feel free to drop those in as well. This one, just to give the proper credit where it's due, designer Josh Dirksen, Thomas F. Bolton, Aaron Merck, publisher Dynamite Entertainment and Lyvander Studios. Ryan with a valid question. Why would anyone want to be anyone but Ash in this game?
Same reason why anyone would want to be the person besides the main person you played in the other game that we played with the players.
Solid Snake? Metal Gear Solid. Yeah, I mean, I would really don't want to be Solid. I just want to be in a box. And then he said, it's just for the theme, one of my favorite movies. I know Aspen will be interested, even that is the same designer of the failed Monty Python game. Oh, my goodness. That's great suggestions. All aboard here. Speaking of more games that have people excited, the game I'm excited for is actually designed by it's coming out from a publisher that we have enjoyed some games from. We've actually talked to him here on the channel, and that is from Paverson Games. And Anthony, I don't think it's the one you think I'm going to talk about.
Don't be stealing my pick again.
Did I steal it?
No.
Okay, I didn't steal it. So this is a simultaneous worker placement game about sustainability, about sustainable forestry in feudal Japan. So I'm not here for the theme as much as the simultaneous worker placement. It grabbed my attention when I saw it, and let me bring up there's not that many in terms of the photos on this one, but the concept of this one just really drew me in. Simultaneous worker placement and resource management in feudal Japan. It's just a combination I didn't anticipate here in 2026. This is probably the one that's more out of the woodwork, kind of much like the last one that we talked about for you. There's not much in the way of visuals, but I was looking at the board. If you look at those photos of the trees, those kind of pieces being stacked, like it had this really neat kind of look and feel to it.
Takanoko kind of vibe there.
Yeah. And I know very little about this designer. Is Charlie McCarran, I believe, on this one. If I'm not mistaken, let me confirm that. Charlie
McCarran. Oh, this is Charlie McCarran. Awesome.
Yeah, so it is Charlie McCarran. It is Paverson. And then, we got to tend to our province. But here's the cool thing. While we're tending to our province, we have to also forecast, consider, and prepare for the ever-changing weather of Japan. So you really got to be thinking in that moment. So I'm not always about real time, but this one has my attention, to say the least. So meanwhile, by the way, some Army of Darkness talk. Marcel mentioning loved Army of Darkness. This game is on my watch list now, and Ryan is down to try. It's also one of his favorite movies. Have you seen Army of Darkness?
I've never seen the whole thing. It's one of those things that has been on at some places when I was younger, so I've seen bits and pieces of it, but I haven't watched the whole thing.
There you go. Well, we'll put that on the movie list. But what about your list of games? Because we've got a crossover inadvertently. We didn't share our list at a time, but what else is on yours?
All right, my next game is from a familiar designer, one who I like very much. I know I haven't seen a lot of the good movies. I get it. This is from Elizabeth Hargrave, and this one is called Sanibel, which is a like small town, I guess, or like island area in Florida. And I don't remember where, but I definitely remember her speaking about it at some point. And I think this is a place that she actually used to go with her family when she was younger. And it is really as simple as just collecting seashells in terms of the theme. But again, we talk about, cover art and stuff like that. I mean, the cover of this game just looks like a postcard that you would see somewhere down the shore that you would pick up off of one of those spinny metal rack thingies. And that's one of the things that I love about it. But, she's always got these usually thematic nature kind of backdrop. And obviously this is in line with that. But it sounds like it's also very much personal because it's from this sort of experience. So you're adding these shells to your kind of like your bucket or whatever you're collecting there in this sort of Tetris style where, they're going to go start at the bottom and then build on top of each other. And you can see they're all like hex based shapes, but there's some full hexes. Then there's like your parallelogram, rhombus kind of a thing, trapezoid, even on half of them. And essentially there's these different scoring conditions. So you're going to be making, groups of the same type of shell. Those smaller ones, those little shark teeth help you fill in some empty gaps sometimes. And you really just walk down the beach. And so there's this, the player turn order is sort of like who's walking down in the spot first. There's shells there. You can pick some up. I don't know the exact mechanics on that part, but also very thematic is that you go down the line and then at some point you stop and go back the other way, because when you're walking down the beach collecting shells, at some point you got to turn around and go back. That's just the way it works, unless you walk around the whole island, which is probably not going to happen. But yeah, I love everything that she's done in terms of design, and it's awesome that she now had a chance to make this game that sounded like it was sort of like a personal good memory of hers. I think it was one of those places where maybe like during low tide, it's sort of like this island kind of appears that you can't get to during half the day sort of thing. And that's why it's kind of loaded with all this good stuff. Rhombus, got some rhombus, some diamonds in there, all kinds of geometry, nature, they're all connected.
Per the cover, it does look like a calendar page. I agree with that. Poster, calendar page, lots of different ways to describe it. Yeah, this was on a short list for me, but I definitely wanted to try this one. It looks really interesting, and I obviously trust Elizabeth Hargrave with design. So I'm intrigued to see this one in person.
From I believe Arcane Wonders, I was putting this one out. Yeah,
Avalon Hill is
Avalon Hill.
Arcane Wonders. Yeah, Avalon Hill is the publisher of this one. So it looks like we got Brian in the house, by the way. I see Colorblind Games popping in here. Great to see you. So speaking of favorite designers, I'm just going to quickly just drop a name that people are not going to be surprised about. And when it comes down to it, David Thompson's on my list again this year. Surprise, surprise. Now I'm going to mention three, but I'm going to mention three very, very quickly, but I'm really going to just focus on one just to kind of simplify this. For the Gods, Azure and Moitura are all coming out in 2026. Now, there's a very common trend here, which is Bitewing or Mighty Boards, and then it's Trevor Benjamin, David Thompson, and Brett J. Gilbert, I believe, is on two of these. Trevor Benjamin is on Azure, and and with Brett, and then Trevor and David are together on the Moitora. So those two are 2-player games, if I'm not mistaken. And then For the Gods is the one that more recently grabbed my attention. And For the Gods, I should say, because we always got to get that exclamation mark. This is one that Mighty Boards is putting out. There's not a lot on it. It is a Kickstarter. I did actually ask, and I reached out, and it is intended to be delivered because I wasn't on. I couldn't find it specifically confirmed, but I reached out. The goal is to have this out this year, and look at that visual. I mean, oh my goodness! So this one is essentially competing to dominate the Greek islands, area control, towering monuments dedicated to deities. And so there's this mixing dynamic of there's interaction because we're trying to position. It's I believe, a 1 to 4 player game. Let me confirm this officially. 2 to 4. I'm sorry. 2 to 4. I'm not going to count on this best of 4 right now. Because again, too early. But yeah, this one has my attention. That's kind of what my thought was. It does look like that Hercules. If you've seen the Hercules movie or Hercules poster, it does have that vibe. But yeah, For the Gods, it looks fantastic. I am excited to see how this one plays at the 3 to 4 player count. A lot of the times I'm playing a David Thompson or Trevor Benjamin game. It is a 2-player game. So I'm anticipating this one being more built for the 3 to 4 players from the little that I have been able to see. But that's exciting to me because it seems like it's going to be a highly interactive game. I'm sorry, Anthony.
I have seen Hercules. I do. I love Greek mythology. And I used to love James Woods before I became a nut job asshole. Sorry.
I'm not disagreeing with you there. And then I'll note the Azure Moitora was a Kickstarter. Both games were on it. Again, Trevor Benjamin, Brett J. Gilbert, and David Thompson involved with those games. The actual common trait between those two games is Trevor Benjamin, David Thompson, and Brett J. Gilbert on 2 of the games individually. So yeah, big fan of them, obviously, and I think they make a great team. And I like that series and collection of games from Bitewing. I have 2 of them already, and I can intend to continue to buy that series. So, not going to necessarily need to show those, but I would recommend you check them out. And then, yeah, For the Gods, very excited about 30 to 60-minute game, building towering monuments to the gods. I mean, that it just seems like a good game theme to me. So I'm in. Let's see.
Sounds good.
By the way, yep. Looks like they've been watching some Hercules. So the timing is everything. By the way, I want to wish everyone a happy National Squirrel Day. I feel it's like appropriate. As I learned today, it is National Squirrel Day.
Let's bring up one of Ryan's that he told us about earlier. Yep. I know. Yeah. Even if I didn't know this, I would have picked this one to be on his list because I saw it earlier today. That's the first Monday in October.
Oh yes, we've been waiting for this one. I know we've been excited about this one, and I forget if there was some glimmer of hope that it might be a 2025 game, and then things happened. But yeah. First Monday in October, coming out here in 2026, which is experienced over 200 years in U.S. Supreme Court history in an afternoon. Fort Circle Games. They hit home runs constantly. For me, it feels like. But when it comes down to it, we all know Fort Circle Games for a particular game, and that was Votes for Women. Right. We loved Votes for Women. We raved about Votes for Women. We still do. And Ryan is right. Tariffs happened. That's the bottom line. This was probably a 20. Oh, well, never. There we go. Tariffs happened. Now, Ryan says he can probably guess the release date, the 1st October Monday. Well, I don't know what the actual release date is, but this one has me excited too, because when it comes down to it, I remember just there's a trust in them at this point. So it grabbed my attention from that alone. Visually, for people who want to see what it looks like, a lot happening here. There's a lot going on in terms of gameplay here. And I feel as though they've hit these historical moments really well. I'm intrigued how this one will play because I haven't had a chance to. It looks like some people have had a chance to demo it at Gamma Expo in 2025. So I know the prototype's been out there. I'm intrigued if anyone has in the chat, if Arwen or someone else at some point is around, can maybe tell us a little bit more about their experience. But from a gameplay perspective, you're going to compete to score renown points in a card-driven strategy game. So it is card-driven. And ultimately, you're advocating for the winning sides of cases decided by a Supreme Court, and you're shaping the overall philosophy with objectives. You're going to be able to choose to place clerks. You're going to be able to do a lot of other things. And each player is representing some sort of long-standing institution in terms of history. And Ryan says, I got a feeling most players will end up doing a better job than the current Supreme Court. That is not hard to do, in my opinion. There is a few different things in terms of ways to win. There's there's multiple tracks. There's a commerce clause track, an equality and liberty track, a free speech track, and an executive power track. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see how people play with those tracks. And again, there's going to be maybe some history changing moments, which we know happens when you play Votes for Women. You can unfortunately lose if you're playing the good guys in that one. So I'm really intrigued by this. And yeah, I can't wait to get this table. Ryan, you've had it on pre-order since 2024. So let's get this thing in this year, and I'm definitely excited for that one. Well, I'm actually on Fort Circle Games. I'm gonna note, even though I didn't put it on the list, I am excited, but I feel like I was only reminded about it today that it's coming out because I forgot about it because it also was delayed. But Hunt for Blackbeard is coming out this year. I am excited about this one because it's Blackbeard. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. It was a game with Blackbeard, and that's what grabbed my attention. So I'm throwing it in randomly just because I saw that name in terms of publisher. I want to shout out that I am excited, and I think I'm going to have it before my birthday based on the current rate. So yay. Excited by that. But that is also Fort Circle Games. So
Cool.
Back to you.
All right, back to me. Well, this is the one I was talking about that has a specific vibe, and I think most of our demographic here will probably feel the same way. This is called Last Week of Summer. Now, this is a Kickstarter campaign that's supposed to deliver in 2026. This is all about your last week of summer in high school in 1986 or whatever. And what I found interesting about it is it sounds like it's got some simultaneous play, but it has all these like mini games in it. So you're sort of planning out your epic last week of summer, and you want to do as much cool stuff as you can. So you're going to be going to, the arcade and like the music store and the skate park and, the fast food joint and all this stuff. And all these locations are like different mini games that, we've come to know in lots of other stuff. So there's some push your luck. There's some, like market kind of stuff. There's like a Mancala sort of mechanic in one of the spots. And that's kind of all I know about this. By the way, it's from Sean Holt, designer, and from publisher Allies or Enemies. I think this is UK based, so I don't know what the availability will be come, retail stuff, but you never know. So cool looking components. You got some cassette player things as your points, and I don't know, just a nostalgia kind of thing, and with Stranger Things finishing, just that you can kind of hear that theme song, and I don't know, just really appealed to me, and not to be confused with lots of other 80s kind of games, but this is like the neon bracelet, roller skate thing, just in your face vibe.
Do you want to stay in the 80s? Because I could stay in the 80s.
I mean, I would go there. I don't want to stay there. I would want to come back. But yeah, we can stay there for a little bit.
Let's stay in the 80s with Class of 89, which is a Paverson Games designer, Corey Jordan. This one is, we're going back to the class of the ultimate,
Yeah,
the ultimate
buddy.
thing of assigning staff to build your you know, that
Oh,
memory
what is it?
of,
What
I
are they
can't,
making?
we are making our yearbook. The
Yearbook. There you go.
memories. The words weren't there. The memories of our high school yearbook. We're assigning our staff. We're capturing these great moments. There's this almost called a narrative charm in the sense of thinking about building it, right? But at the same time, in the long run, it's really just set collection from what I was seeing. But yeah, there's not as much about this that I was finding. But I mean, I found again some demos of what people took photos of on here, but I don't know, the idea of building that yearbook, it's pretty cool to me. And it reminds me when I was excited about the game from Aldrich, and when we were looking at AEG, and I was really excited, or was with Flat Out maybe, but when we were excited about making a newspaper, right? But it was real time, and it didn't quite
Oh,
hit
yeah,
for
yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah.
It didn't
Fit
quite
to
hit
print.
for me because I wanted more time to actually like prepare and like really think about it. To me,
Yeah. Well, I think there was a variant in that game where you could play not real time, I think. But
correct.
But yeah, I agree.
It was more of a solo. It played longer. Yeah, we got Marcel noting that it gives me kind of a Watergate vibe with the art. Kind of does. And then
that corkboard, black and white stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Brian putting out fun theme, great idea. Class of 94 here.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it is unique.
Go ahead. It's unique.
Were you on the yearbook staff?
I was my senior year.
Same.
So I was senior year, and I remember trying to do like that awful class photo. And you know, we didn't have drones, but somehow we had someone up on the tallest possible ladder to take that high shot of us, which I'm laughing about now because now we'd probably have a drone. You know, but that is the shot that I remember. I can't tell you where I was in the photo.
We had a bit of controversy in our yearbook. So
oh no,
I was put in charge of this page called the What If page, which was basically like a list of everyone in the graduating class, and you know, what if that person blah 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 blah. Mostly inside joke stuff, right? That like only some people are going to get, whatever. So I don't know everyone in the class enough to make one of these for everybody, but I do the best I can. And the rest, I just have to kind of gather from who else is in the staff. Which by the way, as a nerd in school, in that, you know, that category, yearbook was cool because there was people from every group in there, at least in my experience. So when I was stumped on, you know, certain people, I'd be like, hey, you know, so and so, I need a what if for XYZ. Anyway, long story short, we do the whole thing. Somebody gets peeved about what theirs says. It causes this big to do to the point where they actually collected our yearbooks back and pasted just a logo of our mascot over the whole page and then gave them back to everybody. So I was like, man, I don't never speak out. I'm not involved in any kind of controversy these 4 years in this school. And now I'm just like, that was funny. But I did enjoy that. And that is a very unique theme, I must say. So I am interested in that for sure.
Dan wants to know, was it that bad?
It wasn't it wasn't anything that was so obviously bad because it was approved by the teacher, the staff lead or whatever. So there was nothing like blatantly inappropriate. I just think, again, because there was some like inside information stuff that maybe just a small group of people kind of knew what it meant. And then once everybody found out what something meant, I don't know this. I'm just speculating because I didn't really get like a totally straight answer.
Oh man,
it is what it is.
Well, I will say I don't know what they were up to, what they were concerned about, but hopefully they did not make a Dark Pact, because that's what my game is. Because you got to be the first occultist to build a deck to fulfill one of 13 unique Dark Pacts. This grabbed my attention for 2026. Hopefully this wasn't what you're, call it. I don't know what was up, but
now cult stuff doesn't usually grab my attention, but that's cool.
Yeah, so normally not, but this I don't know much about. It's by Trick or Treat Studios. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I have not dug too much into this, so I'm coming into this with a grain of salt, with more research to do. I just wanted to bring it up because it's a deck building game where you have to complete one of these 13 packs, which each has their own unique winning conditions. I don't know much more than that. This is one that just grabs my attention. I don't know what's exactly going on here other than, this is one of them where I want to dig in. I want to look at, I like to double check, make sure, okay, I'm really interested in this, but it grabbed my attention enough that with the description of 13 different ways to win, or 13 different objectives to win, depending on what you're going for. I don't know, grabbed my attention. So wanted to mention it. This is more of this wasn't high on my list in terms of if I was ranking these, but it was enough. I was like, okay, if I get a chance, I'm going to check this one out. I don't know if we want to go to yours, if we want to go to one of Ryan's. Friendly reminder, though, call-aboard.com and let us know what is on your mind here tonight when you think about games you're looking forward to in 2026. We can both Ryan.
Let's take a look at Ryan, because I only got one more, I think, in my list. Let's see something else that he put up here. Oh, I mean, this one's obvious, but the next iteration, or I guess expansion to the Star Trek Captain's Chair game that he loves so much. You like it too. You played it, you said.
Yeah, it is. I believe it's Romulan. No.
Star Trek Captain's Chair to Boldly Go.
Star Captain's Chair. I think it's just Captain's Chair.
It's the one with the Cylons.
It's not the. Hold on. Captain Chair. There it is. No, because you have to put that in. Okay, to Boldly Go. What? That is awfully specific.
That's what it was.
No, I understand that, but because I didn't spell it exactly this way.
Well, yes, BGG is quite particular when it comes to spelling and spaces and punctuations.
By the way, that's a great question. Marcella asking, is there a Return of a King coming out since we got Two Towers? Return of a King trick-taking game will probably be out in 2027 because technically it was a 2026 release. So just putting it out there. Star Trek Captain's Chair to Boldly Go, expanding this world. I just want to note, this is a fantastic game. I really enjoyed this one quite a bit. I don't know all the difference of what's in Boldly Go, if it's just more stuff or not. But if it's more stuff, perfectly fine with me. I really like this one a lot. Ryan tried to introduce me to this game, which is more thematically based on, if I am not mistaken, it should note here. I mean, it's based on a line of games that he had tried to teach me and didn't get me in. This one, for some reason, landed for me because you actually go up to the ships, you beam down to the planets, you're doing all this stuff. I don't know. I'm not even a Trekkie, and it drew me in. So I think it works.
It drew you in with its tractor beam.
There it is.
Isn't there a tractor beam in that show?
I mean, yeah. Star Trek, it's beam me up, So it's not a tractor beam. It's just beam me up, Scott. I don't know if it's correct. The game that he did teach me was Imperium. I didn't love Imperium personally. This game I love. So say what it is.
Yeah. The boulder. There's more exclamation points.
Oh yeah, there are lots of exclamation points. Oh, there we go. That's a way. By the way, we got Squirrel back here, and his number 2 most anticipated game. Let's have some fun with this. The Pirate Republic. Let's see. Africa Gambit. So let me take this down here. He says, still one of the most thematic pirate games I've ever played, and the standalone expansion adds even more. So standalone expansions always are exciting to me because I can just dive in, enjoy it if I have a chance to play it. This one, the Pirate Republic Africa's Gambit, is publisher Green Feet Games. Let's take a look at this visually, because when you say pirate, I'm interested, and I'm still interested. You see, I see a nice map of water, and it looks like potentially high scoring, because I'm seeing hundreds on the left side of the board. So I don't know how high scoring these are, Squirrel. I'll be very interested what you have to say there. And look at this board. Oh, I dig this. I dig this board. I don't know if this is a collector's edition or a standard edition, though. So I will let, if Squirrel has anything to add on this, but interesting second pick for most anticipated. Also, big welcome to Ian, who is here as well. For those who are watching, Ian is also one of our content creators on our Discord, which if you're not a part of, there's a link in the show description. Come join us, have some fun. And to answer that question, yes, I got the collector edition, and it comes in roughly 3 weeks. Awesome. Anthony, I have a game. I have a game that I think might be on your list. I'm not sure.
Okay.
So I'm going to, but if it's not on your list, I know you'll want to play it anyways. And that is, and I had a chance to play this at PAX Unplugged. Well, not really play it, but check it out. And I am excited for Cacacadia Alpine Lakes.
Yeah.
Is this the other one?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I have another one, but yes, that's on my list as well.
So Cacacadia Alpine Lakes, I had a chance. I mean, look, I want to be upfront with you about this too.
Please.
I love Cascadia, then Harmonies happened. And I still loved Cascadia, and I liked Harmonies more. Cascadia Alpine Lakes, I came in with saying, oh, okay, what are you going to do? And the question I've been seeing when somebody say, well, would you really want to own Cascadia, then Harmonies, and Alpine Lakes? And I don't know the answer to that question. I'm going to need to actually play it. But what I liked about this, especially after talking to Randy, because I actually got to talk to Randy Flynn about this game at PAX Unplugged. We were standing there for 15 minutes. I got a chance to just ask him a few questions. And after that conversation, I was excited. This game adds a very important aspect, which I'm not going to compare to Harmonies. Even though it goes
standalone, Marcel.
It's a standalone, correct? Yes. So Marcel, this is a standalone. A standalone is not an expansion; it's its own game. You are actually going to, though, be able to take different actions as the board moves up. It's not in the same way as Harmonies. It's a very different game, because Cascadia and Harmonies got compared to a lot. And while there is a up mechanic to it and them going up, there's a lot more going on here for me than just that. It is still gonna feel like that puzzly tile layer, but I feel like this game offers it almost increases the flexibility, but in a way that improves the game, where I didn't necessarily want more flexibility, but there's a lot more strategic decision making, because going up, you're going to have decisions to make about what you're putting down. You're choosing that habitat and wildlife token. You're placing them in expanding environment. It's all that's happening, but the nature habitats score different. And the environments are now more of like this 3-dimensional spatial puzzle. So if you're familiar with Cascadia, yes, you're still going to like this. Will this replace Cascadia? I don't want to say that will replace it for people, because it will be, I think, a little bit more challenging. And it's not going to be probably the Cascadia I'd introduce to people with, right? But I'm excited by it. And it's on my list.
Junior.
Yeah. It's a 2.0. It's still fairly light when we talk about this, but I have a lot of trust in terms of the design when Randy's designing something in particular around Cascadia. And this one, from the little test that I had with it, was great. Yeah, and this is a great point for those younger 16. Cascadia Junior is a real treat. I will say, though, I don't know about you, Anthony. My 8-year-old has played standard Cascadia with like the simple rules. You know, when he was, she's 7, but she played it when she was 6 with the simple rules and was good. But Cascadia Junior, I've heard great things about. Never played it. And yeah, Ian's excited for Alpine Lakes as well.
Yeah, to your point, you know, Harmonies is the end game in Harmonies is depicted by, you know, you kind of running out of space on your board.
Right.
Whereas there's sort of no boundaries here in the Cascadia universe. So that's a big difference.
Do you know what I've learned? I really like Calico. Harmony scratches the tightness itch of Calico with a Cascadia vibe, and I think that's why I like Harmony so much. That's what I've determined. So they both have a room in my collection, and when it comes down to it, I think it's going to be great to have the standalone evolution here of Cascadia in my collection at some point in 2026. So
Very nice, very nice. All right, so my for real last one.
got it.
And this is the one that I referred to as maybe the one that, I don't know, you might not wouldn't have picked for me if you were picking the list. But that doesn't mean that I am not intrigued by it. This one has a long title as well, so start typing and watch out for those colons. Timeless Journeys. You with me?
The Italian
Grand Tour. Yeah, buddy.
Let's look at that. Let's look at that cover. I'm liking this
So,
cover already.
Yeah. This is from Lairs Games. Two designers here, Nestor Mangone and Andrea Robiani. So, this is the whole board's a big map of Italy, and basically it's like you're playing as the first, group of true tourists really to Italy. So it's these people coming from surrounding countries who are, trying to experience the art and culture and food and all this stuff of that Italy has to offer. So, tourist, before there were tourist traps, when it was really just about discovering things on your own. And at the heart of it, it's sort of like a deck builder, really. There's different cards that are going to do different actions for you, like move around or, interact with people by having a conversation. You can sort of add stuff to your journal, to your diary to keep track of what you've done. You can write letters about people that you've met or things that you've done as well. Yes, Darwin's Journey, same designer there, Squirrel pointed out. And there's just like a lot going on. So it looks a little overwhelming, but at the core of it, it's really just playing your cards to do these different things. Everything's going to give you like bonuses and sort of combos, let you do a thing that rolls into another thing like that. And one of the other cool things is there's these famous historical figures that are in the game that are going to be on the board, and they all have this sort of starting spot. But as the rounds go on and you go to the next round, they'll be moving to different areas, and so that might come into play in how you're planning your visit, right? Because you might want to be in that area when Mark Twain is in that province of Italy. You want to be there as well. There's a lot of choices here. You can debate people. So it's got this like almost choose your own adventure thing as well. Not really like a story, but you can choose how you want to interact with these people. So if you meet Mark Twain, you can like go out and have some drinks with him, or you can debate him on some cultural topic, or you can challenge him to like a straight up duel, and then write a letter home about how you had a duel with Mark Twain after you guys went bar hopping or whatever. There's all this stuff going on here, but it just really jumped out as this sort of sweet middleweight spot for me that I tend to like. And so that's why it was kind of on my list to check out a little more detail. That this game, I don't know if he did mention that.
No, I think he's talking about Baghdad. He's talking to Squirrel.
My bad.
No, that's not me. I brought it up. No, this is interesting, and the weight is a 3.0 out of 5, so it seems like in that nice, a pretty nice happy median. So I'm intrigued. And visually, oh my goodness, it looks gorgeous.
Yeah, the really nice components. There's these cool like your journals, like this like recessed boards. You can add the tokens that fit into there nicely. It's also got this
kind of
cool...
right there. Is that the top there? Is that the journal board?
Yeah. Yep. And then it also has this mechanic where like because you play, I think 5 cards, but as the rounds go on or as the cards go on, I believe if you've played the same like suit or color as something that you've played already, you have a chance to activate that thing again. So that kind of comes into your how are you playing these. So it sounds like it's more deliberate as opposed to, say, if you're playing like a real quick deck builder like a Dominion, where you're just kind of like laying all your cards down, doing this, this, and this, and buying this. A little more decision going on there.
Awesome. We do have a caller, so I'm going to bring him in just a moment, and then there's a game or two of Ryan's I'm going to bring up. One that I am equally interested in, though it was not technically on my list. But with that, I'm going to bring in one of the members of our Discord. That is Ian from Will's Plays Games. Welcome.
Hey guys, how's it going?
What's up?
Now, look, Ian, I know you've got a list coming out soon, right?
Yeah.
So this is kind of I know you're not fully spoiling it, but hopefully you've got a few thoughts on the topic here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, here's my short list, and here's my short list.
Right.
I mean, there's so many great games coming out this next year that I'm looking forward to. I don't know which of these are going to make my top 10 next week, but I mean, you got a lot of sequels coming out this next year with like River Market, which is the next Creature Comforts game. You got, you were just talking about Cascadia, Alpine Lakes. Looking forward to that. Three Sisters Harvest Edition. I mean, the campaign. I mean, that right there is like I'm looking for Three Sisters is one of my top 10 rolling rights, maybe top 5, and you add a campaign to it. I mean, yeah, I'm all in on that one. That sounds.
And there's not.
You not know about this, Chris?
Yeah, I'm
surprised.
aware of this. I'm aware of this one. It was not. I almost forgot about it. I mean, look, I love Ben Patrick and Matt Riddle in particular. I just when they do stuff, I just think they do a solid job in particular with Motor City Gameworks. But I love this is my favorite of those rolling rights. Until Hadrian's Wall, this was my favorite. So.
Yeah, this is my favorite of the 4 load and roller rights that they made, easily, hands down. And then you got Cities USA coming. Let's go to France. The new Everdell game. So lots of really good new versions of games. And then you got some stuff we don't really know a whole lot about. You got the Scythe versus Expeditions game coming from Stonemeyer, and the Smoking Bones game, that one probably going to be on my top 10 somewhere. And then we talked about on last week's episode of Wednesday with the Wills is there's a new game coming from Manny Vega and Sidar Tang, which there's really not any information other than on their Facebook page called Elementary. It's in a mythical elementary school, and the trading is done at a it's on Sundar Tang's Facebook page, also a Little Lantern Games. It's called Elementary, and the art it's Sundar Tang, so the art looks amazing. It's a elementary school, and you're like in a lunchroom and trading stuff around. So I mean, Manny Vega, Sundar Tang. I'm an elementary school teacher. You put in elementary school, mythical world. I mean, that just kind of all works for me right there and stuff. And then one that really kind of intrigues me is coming from Burnt Island Games this year, and it's their first in a small box line of games, and it's called Treeline. It's all one word. And
we saw this briefly.
It just, cool. I mean, KTBG, their sister company, which is more family friendly, has been a huge hit with ours. I actually backed Endeavor Deep Sea last year with the expansion. It was kind of my 50th birthday present to myself. On my birthday, I backed it. So I'm excited for that. But like this the art, the cover of this just looks so cool. And the concept of this is just sounds really, really interesting with, the landscape, talk about the once lush and green landscape, but now it's all city and brick. And so I think you're trying to like get it back and stuff. It just sounds interesting. And the fact that Burnt Island Games, who's the heavier, hobby gamer game version, part of, KTBG and Burnt Island Games, is coming out with a small line box of games. Just, it sounds really interesting to me. So the cover just alone, I love how they did that cover. And it just intrigues me as to what this is going to be like. So
I love thank you for driving through that list of some fantastic things in there. In particular, I'm with you. The cover art in this is amazing. It definitely visually draws your attention because it makes you wonder, okay, what's going on? What are we doing in this game? why do we have two different feels to it? And
Yeah.
which world am I trying to go to? Or lots of questions there. A great comment, by the way, from Brian here. Elementary prequel to Class of '89 yearbook game.
That one's also on my short list, Class of '89. I'm very
89.
intrigued by that one as well.
And I can't tell you this. I had a chance to watch Let's Go to France get played, and I think I said this on our PAX Unplugged recap. Correct, someone can correct if I'm wrong, but in talking with Arwen about this, I think I'm more excited about Let's Go to France because I think it's better than Let's Go to Japan mechanically.
Mhm.
I think it's going to be more interesting. Well, I do like Let's Go to Japan, and it's not a knock on Let's Go to Japan at all. I think overall it has a little bit more going on, and I'm very excited by that. So
Yeah. It sounds very interesting. That's for sure.
yeah, no, great list. Now, when is your list coming out? When are you finalizing?
So this Friday, I'm going to do my look back, my personal look back. So it's going to be a solo top 10 look back at 2025's most anticipated and see where they landed.
Nice.
Several of them were on my top 10 last week of 2025. And in fact, I think my top two were my top two game. My top two most anticipated were my top two games of 2025. And then, so I've got my list. I gave Stacy a list of some games because she's not like, she doesn't do all the research and stuff. She doesn't watch all the stuff like I do. So I gave her a list of games that I think she will enjoy. So she's going to actually come up also with her top 10 most anticipated from the games that I gave her. I think I gave her a list of about like 30 games that I think sound like they're going to be up her alley. Some that might be on her list that were on my list last year that didn't quite come out yet. As well that are coming soon. So they won't be on my list again because I'm not going to put them on two lists in a row. I'll probably mention them, but yeah, so that is going to be next week. So that'll be next Friday. This Friday will be my look back at last year's top 10. And then next Friday is going to be our top 10. And I know the Dice Tower is doing their most anticipated list next week. So, you know, there might be some things that sneak on at the very last second. Who knows?
Love it. Well, all the best with that. Just so everybody knows, you can catch all the videos that Ian drops. He has his own section on the Discord. And Brian as well, who you've seen in the chat, Colorblind Games, has a lot of great articles and stuff dropping as well. So I want to make sure I call that out since I know he's been chatting about a few things and he wants to know.
Yeah, actually, we chatted with him real quick. Oh no, I was I was the class in 93. I was the class in 93. So we are almost. So yeah, I was the class in 93. So we were 1 year off.
There you go.
Yeah.
No, awesome. Thank you, Ian. I encourage people to go check that out. Like I said, all the updates, any videos that Ian's putting out will pop up directly on that sub channel within the Discord. And please go ahead and join. We got to meet Ian thanks to the Discord and grateful for it and love the opportunity to collaborate with you. So thank you.
Yeah, we're really appreciative for that and that everything just pops up automatically. So yeah, we're enjoying the stuff we're doing and our new Wednesday with the Wills is posted today. So we're really enjoying that kind of talking points series that we just started up. So we're pretty excited about that. And it's going pretty well. Last week we had lots of comments. So
love it.
Nice.
It. Definitely check it out. And we will see you. I can't wait to see your list. We'll double check that out soon.
Yeah.
Good luck making it. We aren't ranking, so it's a little bit easier because we're not trying to put a number one on anything here. We're just
yeah. We'll see. I might actually rank mine. I don't know if Stacy's gonna actually rank hers or if it's just gonna be 10 that she's anticipating. Maybe we'll just say 10. I don't know. Last year I did rank them, but I mean, there were some pretty big announcements, and a lot of it was Kickstarter stuff that I put. Like, I mean, my number one of last year was Vantage, but Jamie had announced that a year ahead of time. So, and that ended up being no spoilers, but that was my number one game of the year. So last week in my top 10.
I wonder why. You mentioned one thing, by the way. There is, just to point it out, because I can't bring it up and show anything, there is an Expeditions versus Sctyhe duel game coming out.
Yes.
There's not much info about it. We just know it's a duel game. We know we can use all our stuff from Expeditions. We know we can use our stuff from Sctyhe. I am equally excited about this. I just don't know what to expect, but I am excited, and anything that gets me more Sctyhe, because you can use the stuff in Sctyhe and or the stuff that's for expeditions and expeditions. That's awesome. He's confirmed
Yeah,
that stuff.
yeah,
So
that'll
Good
be
thing.
interesting. I've never played Sctyhe because I mean I would have to buy it and play it solo only because I know that is not going to be a Stacy game. I don't make it to conventions. It is one I do want to try if I do ever make it to something. But I do love expeditions, so I'm very intrigued by that and the fact that you can use your stuff from expeditions into it. And it also, I mean, the fact that it is a standalone game, but it's also an expansion for both games, and both games can be used in it. I mean, that's kind of crazy. I mean, that it's
that's wild.
all in one, and you're playing factions versus mechs, and
yeah.
it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, give me more. I'm fine with it. Ian, thank you for calling. Appreciate it. It is on BGA for anyone who ever wants to play Sctyhe with me, but I do prefer Sctyhe because it's a big game in real time. So plan it out, please, because we'll do it. But Ian,
well, if you ever want to get on Discord, we can get on and you can teach it to me.
Oh, I'm happy to. Yes.
All right.
Yeah, I don't love the UI on there, but it's doable. So awesome, right. Ian. Have a good one.
See you guys.
Thanks.
So, Anthony, I'm going to bring up something super quick since he mentioned his wife. My wife did want me to mention one game I showed her that has her attention, and I told her we need to play Accession. But this game's coming out in 2026. I know nothing about it except it's that kind of obsession vibe of, you know, your family and going out and courting and all that whatnot. But it's called Endearment, and you see the caption here, fall in love in Jane Austen's England. So and then there's multiple chapters and settings, and the board gets like grows or something with it.
That's cool.
There's no photo other than this, so I don't know what to tell her, but look at the house. Like I immediately think Obsession now when I
Jane
totally. Austen. So but I'm intrigued by it just because but here's the thing that I cracked about. This is a description, which just if you think and you read this in some sort of Bridgerton voice, right? It is a time of elegance, wit, and exacting decorum, and you, a handsome young lady of a respectable family and pleasing address, have just completed the perusal of a most delightful, engaging novel. You begin to consider, were you a heroine upon such pages, whether your character be marked by wit, charm, vigor, and capability, honor, and wealth. I mean, you get the vibe. Like, you read that. I don't know. It cracks me up just reading that description. But yeah, you're taking a role of one of Jane Austen's heroines traversing the Regency, England. But yeah, let me bring up one of Ryan's games though. And I have his text right here in front of me. This is one that he mentioned and I also got a chance to look at, and you're going to recognize the designer on this one. It's Danny Garcia.
Mm-hmm.
We like our Danny Garcia games. Publisher is DeVere, and this is Gaudi. Discover Gaudi, I should say. I believe is how it's pronounced. I'd have to double check that. Discover the life and mind of a genius behind the modernist revolution. I don't know very much about it. Ryan had brought it up to me and said, "Oh, that looks cool." But the visual looks good. DeVere is DeVere. I have trust here. So this is on Ryan's list. Description wise, just so you all know, designer Danny Garcia, publisher DeVere, as I mentioned. He was a visionary architect in 1852. So the game is going to unfold over 3 rounds. In each round, players take turns moving around a central chandelier on the main board, carefully choosing where to stop in order to perform key actions, drawing cards, and collecting various types of tiles. And those are used to play cards and progress up chimneys on their personal boards. A lot going on here. Sounds really interesting. Don't even know the weight or anything. We got very little info to run off of here. But I think you see Danny Garcia at this point, and you have a reason to be excited because I feel like everything Danny Garcia has done has been really good so far that I've played.
Yeah. And speaking of that, it's tough to, we're excited about all these games, right? But it's tough to rank, going back to, what Ian was saying. It's tough to rank these things because most of the time you haven't played them or they're like, there's not much to even know about them. Right. So it's hard to, put a number on that. Which is why I do like the idea of kind of revisiting at the end of the year, you know,
Yep.
how did that pan out? Did it meet your anticipation? Was it lackluster? You know, how did it stand up to your thoughts?
Also, what's not been announced? I mean, we're doing this on the 21st of January, right? We're talking about what we're excited about. Plenty of games yet to be announced. Not everyone did it the way that Jamie did it, where Jamie went and did a thing. Here's all the stuff for 2026.
Yeah.
Go. Like, we know today, we're talking on a day that Wingspan, the latest Wingspan dropped, right? For pre-order. Okay. That's something I know a lot of people are excited about. But stuff's going to drop. So we'll continue to talk about new stuff. For those who are watching and who are still watching, or you've jumped to a chapter at this point, call-aboard.com. You can join in, share with us. Also, if you're watching now, the other thing I would note, hey, we're going to be back here next week with what's on your table. What did you play this month? So we're always talking about games that hit the table. Some of these games are going to hit the table for us or for other people. So we're going to get to hear about them. And then we're back again 2 weeks from now, talking about our favorite 2-player games. And those are now, this is important for everybody. We do our 2-player list and we switch it up every year. It's our favorite 2-player games that are best at 2 and our favorite 2-player only. This year, we're back to 2-player only. So, yeah, pretty exciting. By the way, Squirrel's probably going to reveal his number 1. So I'm waiting for it here. And there it is, which is a perfect lead up because I was going to mention this for Ryan too. So thank you for a double dip. This is one that Ryan is excited about. I admit I can't wait to play it, but I knew it'd be on Ryan's list. And that is a little game called Brass, except this is Brass Pittsburgh. So Brass Pittsburgh, coming off of Brass Birmingham, I believe same designers on this one, if I'm not mistaken. This is a Roxley game. I mean, there's a lot to be excited about here. You sprawling networks of lots of different things. In this one, they describe it as railways, pipelines, steel mills, oil refineries, and more. It is built on Martin Wallace's Brass system, as this description is going to point out to you as well. And that's a good thing. I mean, you played Brass before, right? Did you play with us?
No, I haven't played.
Okay. We got to get you introduced to Brass because Brass has been on my top list before. It's fallen off more from not playing, but it still sits in this top 50, top 40 because it's just so good when I play it. Right. It is a lot. This is there's a lot going on. Brass Birmingham itself, I always get yelled at for how I say it. But Brass is a 3.87, so it's close. It's close to that 4. Like it gets to that higher level of strategy and depth, right? But this one seems like it's gone down slightly, so maybe a slightly more simplified, but still a pretty. It starts to get to that heavy category. But I think you'd like it a lot. What's neat about Brass, I know in the Brass system, is you play through one round and then you go do one more round. And that second round is impacted by the first round. Some things are going to stay on the board. I don't know what's this game's going to do, but I trust Martin Wallace on this. I trust Roxley on this. Can't wait to play it. So I understand the anticipation completely. Last, I'm going to pull one more from Ryan's list here. Thank you for that, Squirrel. Let's pull up Burned. I think this is it. It says 2025, but I believe this is it. Yeah. Burned is a quick, aggressive game of cat and mouse for 2 players. Agency led by the director against a burned asset. Looks like this one's an asymmetrical hidden card game. We know Ryan likes those hidden games. Talk to him about Fury of Dracula and some of these other games. He enjoys those. Look at the look and feel to this. Looks pretty. Talk about colors, right? We got a lot of colors on this one too. But this was one of the other ones on his list. I'm sure we missed 1 or 2, and maybe we'll have Ryan come back at some point in the future and give us the other ones we didn't include here. There's a bunch. We can only include so many here. Anything missing on your list? Did you cover all of yours? I want to make sure I did not shorten you on yours.
No, I think the crossover covered everything that I had, and what a couple other people mentioned. That was
cool.
It.
The only other one I wanted to mention very quickly, and will not surprise anyone, I will just say I have already had a chance to play this. I got to play a round of it. Let me do this. The Princess Zombie? Hold on. Where is it? Zombie Princess. Why did that come up? Zombie Prin. There it is. Zombie Princess. Had a chance to play as Pact Unplugged, folks. We are continuing a translation of a classic game into a modern game with princesses. But why? Because it's fun. It's trick taking. This is a spin on spades. And it is very well done. If you've played Rebel Princess, then you have some sense of what they do. I have had a chance to play this. I got to play this and actually taught a couple who had never played help teach, I should say, a couple who never actually played a trick taking game. They were really interested. Had a great time teaching them. It was a ton of fun. And really it just sold me. Like, this is a game I'm going to add. I would have already added it in all likelihood, so it probably didn't sell me. It probably just sold me further. But ultimately, if you like what they did with Rebel Princess, I think you're going to like what they did with this. And I may actually like it better, but after one round, it's far too soon to decide that.
Sure.
So yeah, definitely wanted to bring that up. And not a board game, but I'm also anticipating whoever is likely doing a Fallout, which is like, yes, for those in the board game world, they've had a countdown on the Amazon website of something's going to be announced. So there's rumors of a remaster of the classic. I guess it's a classic now, Fallout 3. That's a lot of games. I'll give everyone one last chance to call in, call-aboard.com. Also one last chance if you want to drop what the game you are most excited about or what you like from our list. Anthony, coming up, we've got a few things, as I mentioned. We have next week, Call Aboard. What's on your table, our standard end of the month episode. Then we're going to talk about our favorite 2-player games. And then you've got a guest coming on, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, indeed. So if you want, you can actually bring up this BGG page for Twisted Trumpets. And I'll be interviewing Matt Rodella, designer, on this. I picked this up at PAX Unplugged. This is a tile laying game where you are creating this very sort of, Dr. Seussical, elaborate horn system to become, I think, I don't know, the best horn blower in the kingdom or something like that. And I'm looking forward to chatting with him about this because the original design for this game, this is one of the things I really want to talk to him about, was a sort of a one-man band thing where, you have all the instruments on your body there. So yeah, there you go. Yes, exactly. So yeah, that's coming up on the 11th of February.
Yeah, we got a full schedule. Before we go, actually, Anthony, I'm realizing one thing. I know this is on both of our minds, but we don't technically know the date that it's out. That said, I want to bring up Chicken Fried Dice. It says 2026 here. This is one I know you are both excited. And Brock, yeah, I will bring that up as well. Chicken Fried Dice, though, we had a chance. I had a chance to go actually see a round of this played. My goodness, incredible designer. What energy. I am telling you, there are some people who you meet and you're just blown away. Like Ashwin is one of those people. I talked to him my God, I want to have a much longer conversation with you. I had almost no voice at this point at PAX Unplugged, so it probably was a better thing that I didn't. But I know that I hope and anticipate being able to have him come on and talk to us here on the channel because, God, people need to kind of see and hear about this game from him, in my opinion. But yeah, lovely experience, and it's this real time. It just this dice chucking food truck competition. And here's the thing that gets me about this one. The boards, when you flip them over, there's multiple different solo games for every single board. So the kind of thought that went into it to me is just exciting. So whenever this gets out and is available to whoever Game Pound or Kickstarter, wherever it may be. I'm just going to encourage people to check this out because I'm excited about this. Is it a 2026 release? It looks like according to this, but we know.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with it for that. So I want to make sure we mention this one. Also, Barack mentioned one I do not want to forget, my friend. Again, if anyone does want to call in, last chance, call-aboard.com. Can join us virtually here. But the Game Makers was one. I feel like we've got a chance to see this too over the last year or two at PAX Unplugged. They've had the demos, they've been showing it, giving it a chance. But the Game Makers is so cool because it involves those actual games that are out, and they got those. I think Holiday Hills was even in it because I remember Chris Porter talking about that ended up being in it. Brock, by the way, pointing out, I miss getting to play it in person at PAX Unplugged, but have loved it on BGA. So it is on BGA. That is a good reminder for people. But yeah, like you look at this game, like look at the games. There's Concordia. There's Codenames Duet is in there. You've got Cities. I'm just looking at the games. There's Carcassonne, Darwin's Journey. Like it's just really neat to kind of have a game about game production.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know.
The fact that they're all like so many major popular games are in there.
Oh yeah,
it's cool.
So it's neat. It is on Board Game Arena. I will play it on Board Game Arena with someone, but I feel like I need to play it in real time. Like this is not a me trying to come back and forth to it over the course of like a week.
Right.
It's not going to go well for me. That is Bezier Games, by the way, in terms of design. And then from Squirrel here, and each part is its own mechanic, like deck building, set collection. Right. So they've combined all the mechanics appropriately, which again, can be daunting to some maybe, but it is only a 2.9 out of 5 according to this. So not too high on the weight scale, I would say, in terms of BGG based on what we've seen tonight. Quick stat for you before we end here. Again, we want to thank everyone for tuning in. Please, if you haven't and you want to call in or you just enjoy the live show, come follow the show, support us, join our Discord. More than anything, come be a part of our community. We would love to have you. We play games together on Board Game Arena. We have great conversations, and we've got some really wonderful content creators. So please, I say thank you to you, and just really more than anything, come join us. The only other thing I wanted to tell you, Anthony, I did a test. I did a quick check on this, and I can confirm my appearing on my list as confirmed. It is Paverson in the lead in terms of games, and it's Paverson and Bitewing, and then Trevor Benjamin, Brett J. Gilbert, and David Thompson at the top for my designers. I am in no way surprised by any of that, because that makes sense. And a very quick honorable mention, which I won't even bring up on the screen, but I will just note, I was reminded today in another Facebook group that actually is just a Facebook group for dads, that Western Legends Stories is coming out this year, which is so, and I completely forgot about that because I had chosen not to back it at the time, but now I'm like, oh, I forgot about that. I am intrigued to play that one as well. So with that, everybody, I want to thank you for joining us again. We've got a full slate of episodes. Check it out. I appreciate that. That's fine. We appreciate a raid of people to check us out. But not everyone is board gamers in this world, right? And I know you've got a lot of video game players. So if they join, we were talking about Fallout, Anthony, we might have kept some of those raiders, right? Not the raiders from Fallout. It is always good to see you as well. Thank you, everybody. Again, next few weeks, quick rundown. We've got what's on your table next week. That is a Call Aboard official show, so you can call and be part of show. Top 2-player games the week after that, and then Anthony's on Creators Corner the week after that. So we are busy for the next few weeks. More good stuff to come. Make sure you come back and say hi, and thank you for coming aboard the Tabletop Express. We'll catch you all next week. Have a good one.
Good night, everybody.